So you're thinking of moving to Seattle, Washington. Well, in today's video, we are diving in to a live Google Maps tour covering pretty much all of Seattle, uncovering hidden gems, landmarks, and things for you to do, even if you're just visiting. Stay tuned for more. Welcome to Seattle Living 101, your ultimate guide to Washington real estate. Now, if you're new here and you're looking for a comprehensive guide to all things that have to do with Seattle living, you are in the right place. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. This way you'll get essential tips for moving to Seattle and stay updated on the Washington state lifestyle. My name is Andre. The team and I, we get calls, texts, emails all the time from people just like you who are looking to move to the area. So if that's you, whether you're moving in 7 days or 7 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, book a one-on-one Zoom call with us, and we'd be happy to help you out. All right, so let's dive straight in. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we are going to start, of course, with downtown Seattle. Here's the outline of where downtown Seattle actually is. You can see here. So downtown Seattle, there are a few notable things to mention. Number one, if you're actually wanting to live in downtown Seattle, there's really only high rises. So you're going to have high-rise apartments just like these ones here. There's going to be apartments, there's going to be condos, rents vary. There are a lot of what we call micro units in Seattle as well. Micro units are essentially studios. Some of them are 300-400 square feet. They're great for students who, for example, are at University of Washington. But 300-400 square feet, you have a little kitchen, you have a little bathroom, little tiny living area, and that's really all you have. So you have a lot of that in downtown when it comes to the living scene. Now, one of the most famous places, of course, is Pike Place Market over here. Pike Place Market, essentially, sometimes you get cars that actually drive through here, but you have the fish place over here. If you guys come in here, you'll see people throwing fish around. It's, you know, they get fresh seafood. I don't know. It's a thing that we do here. They throw fish. Then you have right off of Pike Place, you have the Starbucks. This is actually the very first Starbucks that was ever built. And here in the Starbucks, typically lines are, 30 to 50 people. I was there during a weekday and the lines were that long. So on the weekend, they can even be longer than that. But, it's just a thing. I personally don't even like Starbucks coffee too much. I prefer more local shops, but typically the lines here are all the way through here and outside, a good 20, 30 people just standing outside. Now, like I said, I personally prefer specialty coffee shops, which have been getting a lot more popular here in the greater Seattle area. Now, when it comes to another scene that you have to check out, this is the gum wall. Of course, the infamous gum wall. This is actually sloped down. So typically we go to the Ferris wheel, then we come up the steps and you end up in the alley here. And then there's really like a pretty good slope. Sometimes you can get winded depending on how fast you're walking, but typically you'll see tons of people lining the streets here, all putting their gums on the wall, completely legal, add to the art scene. Totally disgusting in my opinion though, especially when some people, you see photos of people like trying to bite off old gum, super gross. And then you have the Seattle Art Museum. If you like art, Seattle Art Museum, literally 1 block away from the Pike Place Market. So these are a few notable things that you have to check out. And also, I always recommend for you to check out, number one, Wings Over Washington. Wings Over Washington is right by the Ferris wheel, and it's this immense, you go in, you sit down, and it's like roller coaster seats. The whole platform picks up, and you're like in this hyper realistic flight over Seattle. It feels like you're maybe in a parachute or strapped to the bottom of a plane and you're flying all across Seattle and the different landmarks. So it's right by the Ferris wheel over here. You guys absolutely have to check out both the Ferris wheel and Wings Over Washington. Now, after you get out of Wings Over Washington, there's this little area here. It's like an indoor There's the crab pot you have. Then you have a little carousel for kids over here. We typically come here, check this out, and then we head out on the main street. Now you can also book a tour. There's sailboats, there's Argosy cruises. You can also book a tour of course, the Puget Sound. And also, if you wanted to, you could check out the ferry. The Bainbridge Island ferry heads over to, you guessed it, Bainbridge Island. And Bainbridge Island, it's about 20-30 bucks for a round trip. You can get off at Bainbridge Island. You can check out some of the coffee shops and restaurants over there, take a look at the island and head back. That's definitely something you guys should check out as well. Now, after this, let's head on over to Queen Anne. Now, like I mentioned in a previous video, Queen Anne is not named after any queen. I thought so too, believe me, when I moved here. But Queen Anne is actually named after the style of architecture. Let me try to look up a Queen Anne style home. You usually have steep pitched roofs, ornamental gables, kind of like a cute little porch. This is a Queen Anne style home. That's what Queen Anne is named after. Queen Anne, actually one of the most popular places to visit here is Kerry Park. And when I say you get views here, I mean you get amazing views. You have views just like this. There you go. That's exactly what it looks like. By far, one of the best places to get a wonderful view of Seattle. And there's also an actual park over there, like a little playground for kids. You have to go down a few flights of stairs to it because the whole park is like on a hill. But as you can see here, there's the slope. But you get amazing views. Most people just go there, take a little walk, sit down, read a book, things of that nature. And also in Queen Anne, you have the Seattle Children's Museum. So on the southern part. And I don't know if you have kids, if you ever been to Children's Museum. I used to never go. I didn't even know about them until my wife kind of just dragged me to one. And I think one of the best places you can take your kids. They get their energy out for the whole day. You get to play with them, enjoy some quality time. There's a few different children's museums. We go to one whenever we visit Florida. There's a really popular one in Tampa, I believe. We love visiting that one. But you have the Children's Museum, and you also have, of course, the Space Needle. Forgot to mention that. How could I forget? You have the Space Needle, and it recently was renovated to have gorgeous 360 views and see-through floors as well. So if your legs shake, they're gonna shake a lot over here. Because you can literally see all the way down. So Space Needle is one of those things where us locals, we talk about it. We go maybe once every few years. You pay 20-30 bucks. You head up the elevator. You check out the balcony, the observatory, and you also visit the restaurant, of course. You go over to the restaurant there. Back when I was thinking of proposing to my wife, I actually found out how much it would cost to rent out the whole top floor, and it was 50 grand for an engagement. So I was like,
you know what? I gotta save some money.
But hey, if that's you and you have that kind of money, it's 50 grand, at least back in 2015 prices, and you can rent out the whole top floor for a proposal. Now, if you live in Queen Anne, you do get amazing schools, and one of the places that people like to actually shop over there, I wanted to mention, Trader Joe's is, if you're looking for a quick run to the store to grab a few grocery bags, Trader Joe's is where you want to be. For any bulk items, of course, you want to go to Costco. But you do have Trader Joe's. It's a very popular store here. I don't know how popular it is in your area. Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, super popular to go to Trader Joe's. As you can see here, we have 3 within probably a 10-15 minute driving distance of each other. Now, after Queen Anne, we are stopping by Capitol Hill because we have a lot of neighborhoods to review today, guys. So I'm kind of giving you the rundown on all of them. Now, Queen Anne, like I said, it's it's more for, if you're looking for a nice home in a nice area and really good schools, Queen Anne is a place that you want to be in. Capitol Hill is more of nightlife, restaurants, bars, and things of that nature. You have the main street over here, which is Broadway Avenue. Here we go. It starts right here after where 10th meets Broadway. Off of Broadway, you have tons of coffee shops. You have Seattle Central Community College. You have a bunch of, like I said, coffee, and more coffee. We're into a lot of coffee over here in Seattle. You have my buddy's place over here. He's a shoe repair guy. Instead of buying new shoes every single time, especially in the raining season, that's when it's the peak of their business. They end up repairing shoes and really everything that has to do with leather. I've dropped off my laptop bags to him. We had this big puffy ottoman that I've dropped off. It had leather on it. They do zippers as well. Zipper repair. So if you have a pair of really good shoes that you absolutely love and you don't want to get rid of, go and visit Bobby over at Broadway Shoe Repair. And like I said, Broadway runs all the way down. You have Cal Anderson Park, that's one of the most famous parks around here. And you also have Volunteer Park Conservatory over here. You have Bruce Lee's gravesite over here people like to visit. You know, he's an icon over here in Seattle, of course. And Cal Anderson Park, you know, nothing fancy over there, but if you're looking to take a breath of fresh air and go out for a walk, go visit Cal Anderson Park. Oh, before we move on, I forgot to mention, right near Capitol Hill, you have Broadmoor Golf Club. Now, Broadmoor Golf Club and Broadmoor in general is a very tight-knit area around Seattle. There's high HOA fees over there. It's a super private community. They literally have gates with barbed wires. Like, that's how private it is. So if you're looking for a very private community, then you want to be over here by Madison Park and Mont Lake over at Broadmoor. So they have the golf course, of course, the country club, and some good views over here as you get closer to the water. So just wanted to mention that as well. If you're looking for a tight-knit, high-end community, this is one that you want to visit. Next up, we are going to Ballard. When it comes to Ballard, a good portion of Ballard was actually built starting 2017. There's a lot of new buildings over here. It has a Scandinavian heritage. My buddy Tevin off of 24th, he has a gym over here. I mentioned him before, and we had an interview with him. It's called Fitness Narrative. All of these buildings you see over here, most of them, if not all of them, were built around 2017 or later. Now, this building here actually got all torn down. Right now, there's new construction happening here as well. Now, when you come to Ballard, really where you want to be if you're looking for food or just to have some fun is Ballard Avenue. You have the Ballard Farmers Market. You have we have tons of farmers markets over here all across Seattle and the greater Seattle area. If you're into Mexican food, what you really want to try, this is like a high-end Mexican food place, is Matador. Matador is absolutely phenomenal. Matador is where you want to be. I'm going to include some shots for you guys too, but it's super, you know, it's not really high-end as far as price points. Like, I'd say their prices are pretty fair, but it feels high-end, that's for sure. They even have a little area over there of like where you can sit around the fire and eat. They have Top Shelf Tuesdays where you get, you know, all of their top shelf drinks, I believe, at a special. It's been a little while since I went to Matador. Actually, we typically visit a different location closer to home. You have Asadero, which is a steak restaurant. If you love your steak just as much as I do, Asadero is a really popular place. As you can see, there's 2,085 reviews and 4.6 stars. So people really, really like it. And when you're in Ballard, there's just all of these, most of these buildings, probably all of them, are all made out of like this dark red brick, which this whole street just feels like its own little world almost. And as you can see, another coffee bar over here, sushi place, you have pizza over here, you have a bar over here. So Ballard, you know, has nightlife as well. If you live here, you're most likely going to live in a condo. There are homes over here as well, but a lot of townhomes are popping up as well, where builders tear down old houses and just build vertical townhouses, essentially. One of my clients has a townhome over here. He purchased it for about $770,000. Next up, you have Pioneer Square. Now, I'm going to give you a little local tip over here. I know it's not often that we do anything with our passports, but if you're looking for a quick 24-hour passport turnaround time, you're going to find yourself over here in Pioneer Square, because the Seattle Passport Agency, I know this is a super weird thing to mention, but I just wanted to get it out there. These guys are amazing. We headed over there because we had a trip back, I believe it was when we were going to Thailand, and my brother-in-law needed a passport ASAP. Of course, you pay a premium, it's a few $100, but 24-hour turnaround time. We had a really good experience over there. When it comes to Pioneer Square, there's really not too much to do over there. You have the Smith Tower right here, which I believe is actually for sale, the Smith Tower. I think recently it was sold for like 140 million, but I don't believe there is a price on it right now. So it's just a historic landmark over here. Now in Pioneer Square, you're gonna see some events going on and things of that nature, but there's really not a lot that goes on over here. It's really more an area that you just kind of drive through on your way to other neighborhoods. Now, next up, we have South Lake Union. South Lake Union is really known for Lake Union and Lake Union Park over here. You also have Amazon's headquarters over here, lots of businesses. Really, the people that live in South Lake Union are ones that typically live also in a high rise, in a condo, or an apartment, things of that nature. You have Google over here as well. So more of a business area, I would say. If you're trying to live in Seattle, I mean, it's debatable, but most people are going to live in areas, like I said, where, prefer to live in areas like Magnolia, Queen Anne, you have Wallingford over here, you have Ballard, which we talked about. South Lake Union is a little bit more of a business district. And now, of course, we have to mention University District. University District is where the University of Washington is. Here's the outline over here for you guys. And University District, you have the Husky Stadium, you have of course, the University of Washington. This picture here is what we call the quad. The quad is essentially a massive open area of lots and lots of cherry blossoms. It's absolutely gorgeous there when the cherry blossoms are in full season or full bloom. But people come and sightsee the University of Washington. You also have the Husky Stadium over here, if you're a Husky fan. Of course. Yeah, here's a good picture of the quad as well, and I'll include some video clips as well for you guys. But this is University District. This is lots of students. They live in what we call micro apartments over here. Again, they're 300-400 square foot apartments, with your basic necessities to live. Otherwise, that's pretty much all you have over here. And of course you have the Montlake Medical Center over here. So if you're a nurse, you might actually be living over here if you're trying to stay close to your work, and you might be living in one of the micro units that I just talked about. And for our last stop of the day, we have Magnolia. Now, Magnolia is, I think, one of, I'll say, probably the most desirable area to live in Seattle. You need a car to travel around Magnolia. And it's this little tiny street here. You could, like I said before, run from one corner to the edge to the other corner, all within like a 1 minute brief jog. But here is, in Magnolia Village, you have a few restaurants, you have a few local coffee shops. I prefer Uptown Espresso instead of heading over to the Starbucks over here. Uptown Espresso, they have amazing coffee. I took one with like orange zest to it and some chocolate. It was really, really tasty, but it's nothing fancy. Ooh, back when gas prices were $4.79. Nice. Right now, I believe they're $5.89. So yeah, we're about $1 higher. And there's also a pizza place over here. I think it's a Slice Box. Yeah, right here. Yep. That's the post office. Yeah. Pizza place over here was closed when I was over there, but this is just a little boutique. It's a really cute place. You guys have to check out Magnolia Village if you want to take a look at the area and consider living here. Now, one of the most notable areas in Magnolia is actually Discovery Park. So Discovery Park is over 500 acres. There's a cute little lighthouse people come over here to check out. You need to buy a permit, I believe, at the very front in order to go this far. At least that's what the sign says. But as you'll drive in. But the lighthouse is an area that you have to check out. Then there's over 540 acres here and tons of trails. All of these little dots that you see here, these are all trails, and there's views from essentially everywhere. Even if you're not in the park, you do get a lot of views from the residential areas. As you're driving over here or anywhere really along the edge, you're going to see tons of water views. Magnolia is an absolute gorgeous place to live, and they have phenomenal schools. My wife's mom, she had a cleaning business before they moved out east, and but she had some clients in Magnolia, and they have absolutely gorgeous views and gorgeous homes over there. I mean, this is really what you see as you're driving around Magnolia. And it's a high-end residential area. I don't think there's even one apartment over there. Really, all I see is homes over there upon homes upon homes. For example, we can drop into any random area over here, and all you will see really are homes. You don't really see a lot of apartments. You don't see a lot of condos or high rises or anything. Maybe as you're entering Magnolia, but the rest of Magnolia is really pretty much all just residential homes, as you can see from here. And of course, to end our segment on Magnolia, you have Magnolia Park over here as well. If you want to sit down, have a picnic, let your kids run around and see some gorgeous views, Magnolia Park is where you want to be. And also, one thing I wanted to mention is the Interbay Golf Course over here. This is essentially, there's a driving range and you have a golf course and you have a mini golf section as well. If you're into golf, check out the Interbay Golf Course. It's super popular here. Let's see how many reviews they have. Yeah, 890 reviews, 4.5 stars out of 5. But it sits like, let me double check if it's actually in Queen Anne or it's right on the edge. I always thought it was in Magnolia. Yeah, no, it is in Magnolia. But it's right on the edge, as you can see here. You have Queen Anne starting here, and Magnolia is over here. So technically in Magnolia, but right on the edge of Queen Anne. So there you have it, guys. We've covered everything from Seattle's bustling streets to Ballard's food scene. If you're looking to move into the area, please don't hesitate to reach out. My team and I are here to help you. Whether you're moving in 7 hours, 7 days, or 7 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or book a one-on-one Zoom call with us, and we'd be happy to help you make that smooth move over to Seattle, Washington. I'll see you in the next video.